lived in Malibu, and there was no Japanese. We were the only ones there. And I guess my brother must have come in town and on the radio. We never got any official notice that you're going to be, evacuated. It was just these signs that saying all Japanese, you have to evacuate. And they all, they did what told on these signs, which is amazing to me. If it was the people nowadays, they'd have an uproar. They would object, but the first generation, very obedient people. My folks were farming in Malibu, and we had all our equipment. We had a crop of strawberries ready to harvest. It seems that the government was loaning money to people to buy the farms if they can. And this man took a loan now, we understand, and he did pay us some money, but nothing compared to the crop and all the equipment, tractors, and I think we had 2 horses. We left everything to that man, and we heard later that he just couldn't do it. See, we helped him till the day we left, and I guess he thought, oh, this is easy. But once we were gone, he didn't know what he was doing, so he lost it all. The day came where we had to leave, and we had real nice people in Malibu that helped us, and I think Mr. Jones, the real estate man, he got one of his workers, and I don't know how he took us all, but they took us to where the bus was waiting for all of us.
I see.
And we got on the bus, and we were taken to Manzanar.
Wow.
But see, we were lucky. We went directly to Manzanar. When we went on the bus, we got in a line, and they gave us a shot. And then they gave us, assigned our barrack. People have said that they had to fill their own bed with hay or straw or whatever it was. I don't remember that, but anyway, being a 8 in the family, we had 1 room. And so, all these little army cots lined up with this old mattress filled with straw, whatever it was. Because they were still in process of constructing, if you went, you could get lumber, the pieces that they're discarding, and he got some of those, and anything they discarded, cardboard, and he made a little section for the kitchen. So I had the beds all scooted this way, and he just tried to make it livable, Later they put something on the wall, I think, drywall. You could hear everything. I remember one time our neighbor was laughing because my brothers were in an argument and they heard everything.
Oh.
And Obasan came over and she was laughing. She said she was listening to my brothers. But then going into camp, didn't realize it at that time, but it was the family kind of fell apart. And the camp was more or less run by the people. The Caucasian personnel will be the head. They needed all these workers, and there was all the Japanese doing the work. They started a farm, so my dad, being a farmer, he went out to the farm, and my brothers also went out to the farm. It's so cold, my dad said, oh, you better to go work in the kitchen. He never was a cook. He became a cook. and there were some people that, were really, had a restaurant or something, and they would be good cooks. You could imagine what kind of food we ate. And then my brothers joined, worked on the food crew, where they would distribute all the food to the different kitchens. And they'd find out which kitchen they had the best food, and the best. And so that way they always ate with their friends. And, my dad would eat in the kitchen he worked in. And so, the family just No, never ate together.
How did you feel as a 16-year-old, right? As a teenager?
It's kind of stupid. You don't remember being angry or anything. You just did what they told you to do, and you just went along. And to tell you the truth, I think my education in history wasn't very good because you didn't realize what was really being taken away from you. I think the young people nowadays are more aware of where you stand as a citizen. But us being Japanese and raised by immigrant parents, I think we're just glad we were accepted.
And how did you wash your clothes?
Oh, every camp was different, I think. We had 7 lines of barrack, and this last one here was the mess hall. And then on this side, I think it was the rec hall. And then in the middle, a barrack here was the laundry room. And the laundry room had tubs.
Where does tubs come from?
See, they must have had this thing pretty well planned because all that sewage. Next was the men's latrine, the new terms we learned, and the women's latrine. In the bathroom, you'll really be grossed at this. Toilets, just sitting like this. You could hold hands with the next person. Really. I don't know how we did it. I mean, that's so personal. We made friends. I have those friends still 70 years later. You know, as girls and boys to get together, we make little clubs, and our club was the Mademoiselles, we named ourselves. To this day, we keep in contact with each other as much as possible.
Yeah.
Once we were in camp in Nihonjin, you know, they're very conscious of educations in camp, so these teachers will start little classes, and I remember we were evacuated in 42. It was April or something we went to camp. By summertime, this teacher, calligraphy, was very good in calligraphy. She used to drag my girlfriend and me every day for Oshuji. I didn't even know what I was writing, but yeah, and then my sister, she was teaching nighttime adult class of shorthand. Whoever was able to help and had the talent to do it, they would teach.
So how long were you in the camp?
3.5 years.
Yeah.
Once we were in camp, we started school. I was in the 11th grade. I don't think we learned anything. We sat on the floor because they had no desks, they had no books, and the teacher didn't even have a desk or anything. She had just a podium like where she just stood and lectured. And the teachers weren't, you know, the number one teacher, except in camp. There were many Japanese that were probably much brighter than the teachers that we got. And they became teachers. So I don't know how long we sat on the floor like that. I mean, I don't think we had a pencil or a book or a piece of paper.
Wow.
We just attended school. Then we graduated in 43. Our teacher was pretty good. She tried to make it as normal as possible for us. And we even had a senior sweater. And we had a graduation, it was outside. She got caps and gowns for us. And so once everything was settled and the people were kind of running the place, it got more well organized. Mei Yuzuki was telling us that she started a library. Every block had an empty barrack where it was a recreation room, and so she said she got one of the rooms and made a library, and she said she started out with one book and slowly gathered. My mother's friend was an assistant to a sewing class, and they taught drafting, you know, how to make patterns and everything. Of course, we had to go to that class. So we learned how to draft clothes. And you look just don't look at the bad side of camp, but then the good side, like our folks, they worked, and they never had a day of rest. But once they were in camp, they didn't have to worry about a roof over their heads, and they were being fed. Like my mother got to go to these sewing classes. With the bad, some good came out. You don't sit and think about how somebody did wrong to me, It's kind of stupid when you think of it.